Guys, Ryan Henderson still out with a concussion. Think he'll be cleared pretty soon. Dion Bailey still limited, but did some things. Khalid Holmes out still, and we expect him back pretty soon. Jesse Scroggins still out. Buck Allen's still out. George Farmer did some stuff on the side. We'd hope for him to be back late in the week. Xavier Grimble's still out, same thing, late in the week. Junior Paul May had a death in the family, was not here. And during practice, Drew McAllister and Marquise Simmons came out. Marquise with the shoulder and Drew with his hand, so they're getting x-rays.
Treatment on tailback, what was the thought process in that?
Just really having a week of sitting around and thinking and what our team needs, and this is the time to try it. And it may not work at all, but he is, as you go back and look at our testing and study height, weight, speed, he would be one of our best guys on our whole team. And he does, for a guy that's 230 pounds, ran 4.5 electronic, was one of the top times on our whole team regardless of position. So it's just something that just sitting around thinking that we don't have that right now. And so if he can give us that would be great. And if he doesn't, then he can just go back. And he played really great on defense actually Saturday, but he is sitting there behind Dion. And so, like we told him this week, and he was excited about it. I didn't know, I wasn't going to do it if I wasn't seeing it. He didn't want to. We talked to him, and he was ready for it. He had kind of been thinking about it himself, so we'll see.
Was the physicality of, the way his style of play, was that taken into account?
Yeah, he's an aggressive player, but he gives you a big guy that can run really fast, and that's unusual to find, guys that his testing doesn't happen very much. It doesn't mean that he can play running back, but we'll see, and if it works out, we're going to ourselves something we don't have right now. If it doesn't, we'll go back.
Are you going to do this for 1 week and then assess where you are, or what's kind of
the initial plan is to go through a week, because it wouldn't do any good for a day. Go through a Tuesday, Thursday, and a scrimmage Saturday, and see where we're at. And if we're somewhere in the middle, keep going. And if one way or the other, go whatever direction that is.
He said he was pleasantly surprised. Were you pleasantly surprised today? Trey said he was pleasantly surprised that he did pretty well. How he did today.
Okay.
How are you?
Yeah, we didn't get to see a whole lot because by the time we kind of got to some of the team, he was gone. Someone was a spread out run, so it's hard for a guy the first day, especially in spread out run stuff, to know what to do. But you did see things in individual and things early in practice where you could see that he does have the burst you would need. He does have the speed and power that you would need. And he does have good hands. We've known that all along. He's a very good athlete, so maybe it'll work.
So Robert said he's going to be out for the rest of spring.
Yeah, after continuing evaluations of Robert, we thought he would be almost full strength by now, doing everything. And he's kind of had a setback. It's not healing as fast, and so our doctors recommended that we really sit him to make sure that it heals, because we were running him on the side so much and just doing some individual that it wasn't really healing. So let's see if we can get the thing completely healed and get that limp out of there so he can be full speed.
And are you kind of okay with that in the big picture of things?
Sure, yeah. Obviously, the last thing we want, and really watching him, I kind of champion this thing, watching him that he still has limping around, and our whole thing was, we did this offseason to get this fixed. So we didn't have to go through like last season where he couldn't practice almost every week towards the end of the week. So we have to get it right, no matter what that is, no matter how much time that is, to make sure that we don't have to go through that again.
Are any of those guys who've been running track going to be at the track meet on Saturday?
Yeah, we're still discussing that, but I do think that Marquise and Tony are jumping for sure, and Nikel is as well. So I think they are. I don't think DJ's going to, but I think their part's early enough where they're going to go and they can come meet us over there partway through.
Coach, even though Robert can't be on the field, how beneficial is he to some of those younger guys, just in terms of route running and technique?
Yeah, I think that helps a little bit. It gets a little bit overrated. That's why we hire coaches, to teach us stuff. But he can help them a little bit because he does have obviously great experience, and he really has really good body control within his routes and knowing the systems. Really, guys help more sometimes with relaying information that sometimes young kids can't get from coaches, where he's on the same level. Say, hey, this is really an easier way to kind of memorize this stuff. So he kind of helps more in that way with guys like Victor.